Hello, welcome to today's episode of Juicing the Numbers. I am your host, Joshua Tracy.
And I am Corwin Heller.
Oh, I'm so enthusiastic today.
I am currently drinking a cup of coffee, so I have energy.
Oh, there you go. Welcome to, once again, one of our Monday episodes. Today we're going to be talking about a few things that are, of course, baseball related. And we're going to start with the surprising news out of Tampa about the possibility of them, or the beginning of their investigating whether or not it is feasible or logical, maybe be a better word, for them to split time between Tampa Bay and Montreal as their home cities.
I don't know what they're trying to do here.
If I had to guess, it's that attendance is awful in Tampa. And part of the reason that baseball attendance in general is worse than other sport attendance is because there's a huge amount of games.
Right.
They play 81 games in Tampa. And so I would imagine that the thinking here is if we reduce the amount of games we play in Tampa, that might incentivize people to come out more per game. And that way you'd have a higher artificial intelligence, a higher artificial attendance. Because it might be the same amount of people over the course of a season, but if each game could have a higher population, then that might bring about a better atmosphere for them.
Right.
So that's what I'd imagine they're trying to do. And then they could also basically do the same thing in Montreal, because Montreal also had attendance issues, which is why the Expos moved to Washington, D.C., and then maybe you could try to do the same thing there, where if there's a limited amount of opportunity to see baseball in Montreal, then people might actually go to it because my other thing is I don't think that they would do like 50-50 like everyone's saying, like 50 games or 40 some odd games.
Shot.
No, I think they'd play probably of their 81 home games, probably like 50 to 60 of them in Tampa, and then just a handful of games in Montreal. Because I'd imagine they would do like a series in Montreal before and after they play the Blue Jays both times. So there's they play the Blue Jays in Toronto, I think twice a year for two or three, let's say 3 times a year. So you do a series before and after each one of those, and you're already at 18 games right there in Montreal. And I'd imagine that'd be most of them.
Yeah, I was thinking it would be more of like a 50-30 split, something like that, just so that you could have, Canadian holidays, spend time up there. I don't know what goes on in Canada because I'm not from there, but I feel like if they were going to go all in on this and actually have this be a feasible thing that they could do, they'd have to have more than just 3 or 4 or 5, 6 series in Montreal, because there's no way they would be able to build a fan base just doing one-off series here and there in Montreal.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to grapple with is I'm not sure why they picked Montreal. It could just be that Montreal has a pre-existing baseball stadium that is currently unoccupied, and that's all that they're looking for, which I guess is fair. I'm just still not sure, because I don't think that they would move to Montreal, because Montreal still hasn't solved. Like Montreal when that franchise ceased to exist, they had all of the exact same problems that Tampa has now. People weren't going to games. The stadium was considered out of the way of Montreal proper.
And it sucks.
And it was considered kind of a shitty stadium. And that describes Tampa Bay's issue to a T.
To a T.
Yeah, I mean, the Trop is out of the way. It's considered a shitty stadium, and people aren't going. And so I don't know if they would move there. I want to say this would be like them testing the waters for a temporary moving while they build a new baseball stadium, but then the Trop's still functional. Like, if you're going to build a new ballpark, it doesn't have to be on top of the Trop. Like, you could just do it like what the Yankees did and build it.
What most teams do.
Yeah, build it while you're still playing in the other one, which fucking every team does. So that's what, outside of just trying to generate more attendance, which I could see this working for like a little while, but I just don't see this being a long-term solution to their attendance problem.
And So I saw a tweet today. It actually was a Facebook post he tweeted out, but the mayor of St. Petersburg, Florida, said that the Rays can't do anything without the approval of him specifically because of the deal that they have with the city of St. Petersburg until 2028. So even though they have permission from MLB, they don't have permission from Tampa Bay and St. Petersburg, Florida, to go anywhere else until their current contract is expired. And in his tweet, he said that he's not going to allow it in any way until they come to him and actually work out a deal.
Yeah, I think, because apparently that contract's to 2027, right?
2028. It's over, and the final year is 2027.
Right. So the only reason I imagine they haven't gone to him already is because this is still the investigation stage. Like, they're still just looking into whether or not it's feasible. So it's like, why piss off the mayor if we're not even going to end up doing this? Because this isn't the Rays saying that they're going to do anything. This is just the Rays saying that they're going to look into it, which I think it's interesting enough of a concept that it probably does warrant them to at least look into. I think they're getting really killed by social media for just checking in, especially the Rays, which is one of the most forward-thinking organizations in all of baseball. I think that they would at least have earned a little bit of credit. Like, if this was the Mets, then it's like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, they're out of their goddamn minds. But the Rays, I mean, they were like the first team to really use the shift. They were the first team to like really focus on minor league player development. They were the first team to really focus on, last season, the opener strategy. And so I think it's kind of weird that people haven't been giving them a little bit more leeway, and instead of just jumped onto this murderous bandwagon. Because I'm not saying that this is going to be a good idea, but I'm saying that the Rays are smart enough of an organization and have shown that for well over the past decade, that you'd think that, like, if they're going to do some looking into things, I bet they have a good reason.
Yeah. I mean, they're not a dumb franchise, like you said. They're not the Mets.
Speaking of which, just real quick, did you see the Mets pitching coach hire?
No.
An 82-year-old man who pitched with Sandy Koufax.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's been out of baseball since the Clinton administration.
Oh, my God, Mets, what are you doing?
And everyone's like, no, it's good. Like, he really knows what he's talking about. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure he does, but he's still... Jesus, 82?
God, he was, like, literally around when Jackie Robinson started playing ball.
He might have been right there around... No, he must have if he was playing with Sandy Koufax. Regardless, like, Jesus.
Fucking
I mean...
Christ.
Yeah, the Mets. Like,
How does a franchise with that much money in a city that loves them so much be so bad at just making basic decisions?
Because their ownership is ass. Everyone's saying this screams of the Wilpons doing it, and I'm willing to believe that because the Wilpons are insane people. But yeah, it's whew. Anyway, back to your point.
Yeah, I was just saying this is most likely, like, if this is not them being completely serious about this and they're just investigating and whatnot, if they don't actually fully intend to move to Montreal, I view this as just a leverage situation trying to get a new deal for Tampa Bay. Because this would put a lot of pressure on St. Petersburg to try and really push, and it pushes the favor and onto the side of the Tampa Bay Rays organization to get a new stadium deal with Tampa Bay earlier than 2028.
Yeah, I have to imagine that leverage is exactly what they're going for, whether it's leverage to move and stay in Montreal or leverage to at least use Montreal as a placeholder while Portland builds a new stadium, or Vancouver, or some third city in Texas, or fucking whatever. The fact that they could probably work something out with Montreal to at least play there in the interim, I think would make sense from a leverage standpoint. I really want Tampa, or the Rays, I should say, to look into this. Like, I really want to hear what they come up with, because I want to hear why they thought it'd be a good idea. Because I'm just so curious now. Because this is something, because we talked about relocation in our, like, to each other and on this show a million
extensively
times. And we've never thought of doing this.
Yeah, like, I know we talked about, like, if we had to move a team, where would we move them? And I'm sure at some point we're like, oh, we could move the Rays who don't want to be in Tampa Bay to like Montreal.
I know for a fact we've said that.
Yeah. But then at the same time, we've also said, yeah, but that'd also be pretty dumb.
Especially because Montreal had all the same problems that Tampa did.
Like, we've made these points before, and now it's real life. And I just don't... I'd love to just sit down with the owners of the Rays and just, like, not even add any input, and just... I just want to be a fly on the wall during that meeting where they came up with this idea.
Yeah, yes, that's what I'm saying. That's why I really want to see what they say about it. Like, if they get through a whole investigation period on it, because I am just fascinated now about how this came to be and like what they were looking for, and like I'm like, because they've got my trust as far as being smart people go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they've got my, as much as I want them to lose every game that they play because they're in my division. Like, they're a really fucking smart team.
They've proven themselves.
Yeah, 100%. So
they've fleeced the Pirates more times than I can count.
Yeah, that's always going to be a head scratcher for sure.
Can we just do an episode talking shit about the Pirates? Oh, right, fixing the Pirates episode.
Yeah, we're definitely going to do that. It is going to happen. Actually, speaking of some of the Rays ideas in the past, I have a question.
Okay.
Which I guess just leads us into our next topic. As we know, I'm a stickler for word choice.
Absolutely. The opposite of me.
Yeah. How do you differentiate, if you do at all, a bullpen game from an opener? Like an opener for a game? Do you consider there to be a difference between those two things, and if so, what is it?
I guess it would be the length in which I think it's partially the length in which the second starter comes into the game, and I guess whether or not they've been able to put up starter level innings in the past. So like, if they're having a quote unquote bullpen game, the opener comes in, has like an inning or two, they bring in another reliever, and he just happens to be able to go like 80 pitches and 4 or 5 innings. It's like, okay, it's still a bullpen game just because he happened to be really effective. But if it's a guy that was continuously going 80, 90, 100 pitches, going 5, 6, 7 innings, whatever it is, if it's that consistency where that guy has always been able to do that, or it's a role that he's continuously doing, or he was a starter in the past, then I would say it's just an opener.
You have described my exact line of thinking as well.
Cool.
Because
this is weird. We never agree like this.
Yeah, I know. It's a nice change of pace for us. Because when the idea of the opener strategy first kind of started coming around in baseball, the way it was described to me, and the way that I still think makes the most sense when you think about it as an opener versus a starter versus a bullpen game, is that the hardest outs to get in a game are the first 3 outs, or at least 1, 2, and 3 in the order, wherever they might fall. It's the same idea it's the same idea as when you could use your closer in like the 7th inning instead of the 9th inning, if 1, 2, and 3 are up in the 7th and it's a close game.
High leverage situations.
Right. And so wherever 1, 2, and 3 are, use your best pitchers or whatever your best matchup might be.
Right.
And so the way that idea got described to me is that, well, 1, 2, and 3 are the first dudes who hit in the game. So why not bring in a guy who matches up well against them to face 1, 2, and 3 and then bring in a starter?
Right.
Or at least a guy, like you said, a guy who's historically good for like somewhere between 85 and 100 pitches, who like that's his job.
Like Yanni Chirinos for the Rays. He's a guy who was a starter in the past. He typically goes 5, 6 innings, sometimes 4. He has struggled early on in the past, and that's why they have him as a secondary starter, however you want to define it.
I think bulk man's my favorite word.
Bulk man, yeah. I always tend to think of that as primarily relievers who can go like 2 or 3 innings, where like secondary starter is someone who will go at minimum 4. But yeah, I mean, it works great. It's one of these Moneyball ideas that make a lot of sense when you think about it logically, and not just thinking, oh, but starters start the game. That's just the way baseball is and always was and always should be. And it works out great. You're allowing guys who can just put their all in for 3 outs, just like you would with a closer, and it works great.
Yeah, it came to mind because the Yankees, we're recording this on June 21st. The Yankees just butt-fucked the Astros for 3 hours. It was great.
It was nice. I watched the game.
Yeah, it was really, really good. But the announcers kept calling it a game done by an opener. Mm-hmm. And it was Chad Green for 2 innings, and then it was Nestor Cortez Jr., who has only been a reliever for us this one season. For like the next 3 innings, I think. And then it was just a smattering of relievers, including like David Hale and Chapman had to come in at the end there. And like that to me that's not an opener. Now, I think like, if Jordan Montgomery is able to come back at the end of the season and they throw Chad Green in front of Jordan Montgomery because, like he's still coming back from injury, we want him to pitch in games, but we want him to pace himself, so then that makes sense. I mean, exactly. Then you give Greeny like an inning or 2, mm-hmm. and then you hope that Jordan Montgomery can go through innings like either 2 through 6 or 3 through 8, and mm-hmm. that would be an opener. That would be the guy who faced the toughest outs at the outset of the game, and then you brought in a guy who's most prototypically a starting pitcher for however long he can go within his normal range.
Right.
And yeah, that's
perfect definition of an opener.
Right. Do you see one of the two of them as being more advantageous over the other?
I'm a kind of guy where if I was a manager, I would be very cautious with my use of relievers just because it's a finite resource, and I'm very much more of a conservative type manager where I would want to, save that resource in case I need it. So I would always be a proponent of having a 1-2 inning opener, have a guy get starter level innings that's proven he's capable of doing so, and then closing out the game like I normally would. I mean, I'm not against bullpen games like the Yankees had yesterday. I know the Astros did something very similar where they had Framber Valdez come in. He was there for 3.1 innings, something like that.
Yeah, but he was he got pulled because he got rocked.
He got rocked.
He let up a 6-run inning.
But he was a guy that was a bullpen arm for them for quite a while. Wasn't a typical starter, and it didn't work out for them. But it's the same strategy, and it doesn't work every time. So, I mean, personally, I'm a fan of opener followed by second starter, but I have nothing against bullpen games.
No, I am too. We are just in sync on this topic.
I hate it.
I love it.
And the episode now.
Because the other thing you want to think is, no matter how good someone's ERA is, those earned runs had to get there somewhere. Mm-hmm. And the more guys you bring in, maybe we could turn this into an episode idea, but the more guys you bring in, I just have to assume that the higher the odds get that someone's letting up runs. Someone's going to have either a mediocre inning or a bad inning. And I'm sure it works out plenty of times where they're all spotless. The Dodgers threw a combined no-hitter last season against somebody, I forget, using 4 pitchers or so.
Was that Rich Hill, or do you remember who the starter was?
Oh, I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to say Alex Wood. I have no idea. So I think personally, the fewer pitchers you can use in any game, the better. Because
always.
Yeah, because you're more liable to get if they can go lengthwise. That means that their stuff is good. They're able to hold up in an endurance way, and there's just less risk of bringing in enough guys that eventually someone's just not there, and that's what ends up happening to pretty much a lot of pitchers at some point in the season, is that they're going to have an inning where it's just like, what the fuck happened there? Mm-hmm.
Blake Trinan last night.
Yeah, or even it happens to starters too. It happened to Blake Snell against the Yankees a few days ago, where he got one out. You know, like it happens.
It happened to Mad Bum last night.
Yeah, he got batted around on as well by the Dodgers, and yeah, I just think that the more pitchers you have to bring in a game, just the higher the odds are that someone's going to fuck it up. So, in addition to like all the other strategies around it, I also think that a bulk man, a second starter, whichever term you find most ready to help you understand that concept, that's my way of doing it.
Because we are a statistics podcast that very rarely uses actual statistical terms, the higher the variability, the higher the chance that shit goes wrong quick.
There you go.
Look at
there
that.
You go.
We're smart people.
Yeah, I can't help but think every time.
Reasonably intelligent, non-dumb people.
I think so. I think that's fair. Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Actually brings me to one of my next points.
Excellent.
So they in that Blake Snell game against the Yankees where he let up a bajillion runs and got no outs, which first off was bizarre because it was a 6-run inning with 3 hits. Did you see this?
No.
Yeah, it was hilarious. He walked everybody.
Damn. Blake Snell?
Yeah, there was like it was like 3 walks, like an error, and like 3 hits.
Was this last night?
No, this because last night they played the Astros. This was over the weekend. I want to say Saturday, maybe.
I'll try.
Or wait, no. What day is it? Maybe it was Monday or Tuesday. Whenever the fuck the Yankees played the Rays. I can't keep track of days.
I'll look up the actual line.
Okay, but anyway, while you're doing that, Blake Snell got 1 out. It took him 39 pitches. Okay, it then took the reliever who came in 12 more pitches to get the second 2 outs. So it was 51 pitches in a half an inning.
That's really bad.
So the guys in the broadcast were wondering, is that a record? Or like, what is the record? And so they posted it up to their in-house stats guy to, hop on Baseball Reference and do the whole thing. And he came up with this game, and I had to share it with you.
Oh, God.
So what do you think the record is for pitches in half? This was not it. What do you think the record, the Yankees game, I mean, was not the record.
Okay.
What do you think the record is for pitches in a half an inning?
So it's higher than 51.
It is higher than 51.
Just a full inning or
a half an inning?
Half an inning. I'm going to guess it's like 65.
It's 97.
Oh my fucking God. What?
97.
Give me the deets, Josh.
I figured you'd want them.
I want the deets.
So, this is gonna make you laugh. But it was against the Orioles. In 1996, though, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna pull them up. I'm pretty sure they were good that year too.
Yeah, they still had what's his face,
Cal Ripken.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They were also apparently first in attendance that year. That's interesting. Yeah.
The Orioles have that ever?
First of 14. Yeah. Fucking go figure. What's their record though? I can't seem to find just their record.
Go back up to where it has the graph of like wins and losses.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
88 and 74, finished second in the AL East, which means that they went to the playoffs that season. So fucking yeah, go fucking figure, right? So the 1996 Orioles, right? They were playing the 1996 Texas Rangers, April 19th, 1966.
Oh, fucking score.
26-7.
Oh my
God! Here, back up because I want. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
right.
This was
just reactions then.
So inning by inning.
Okay.
And it's going to become painfully obvious which inning had the 97 pitches.
Okay.
All right. So
is this like the box score?
Yeah. So
okay.
just top of the first.
Okay.
Orioles come out of the gate. Mm-hmm. Score a run. 1-0.
Excellent. Good job, guys.
Rangers come up to bat.
Mm-hmm.
Drop a 5 spot.
Ooh. Okay.
Orioles are in a hole. 5-1.
It happens though. 5-run innings happen.
Yep. Top of the second, Orioles do nothing. Still
Very
5-1.
Orioles.
Bottom of the second, Texas comes back again, drops another one on them. So now it's
1 run.
Yeah, 1 run. So now it's 6-1. Third inning, nothing happens. Still 6-1.
Nice.
In the fourth inning, the Orioles tie it in the top of the fifth. Top of the fourth.
Go. Score 5 runs.
5 runs in the top of the fourth. So
there
now
we
it's
go.
6-6.
I can do some math.
And they hold the Rangers scoreless in the bottom of the fourth as well. So
Excellent
they
job.
hold up the tie. The Orioles are held scoreless in the top of the fifth, still tied
Okay.
6-6.
Okay.
The Rangers score 3. So now it's 9-6.
Totally
Huh?
Totally fine.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens. Everyone's got an outing.
Yep.
Nothing happens in the 6th.
Okay.
Top of the 7th, Orioles score again.
Good job.
Now
guys.
it's 7-9. All right. Not out.
Nice little barn burner we got going on here.
Yeah. Nothing's out of reach for anybody.
Nope.
But unfortunately, in the bottom of the 7th, the Rangers come and they score. They get that run back.
Okay.
So now we're at 10 to 7. In the top of the 8th, Orioles can't get anything done. Still 10-7. In the bottom of the 8th inning, the Rangers score 16 runs to make the game 26-7. Hold the Orioles scoreless in the top of the 9th. That's the end of the game.
Can you break it down by innings so we could see what happened?
As a matter of fact, I can.
Oh yes.
Just real quick, I didn't look at this ahead of time. I want to see. Darryl Hamilton of the Rangers got 4 hits in the game. Any home runs? Oh man, it's just quite a few. Okay. Do you want to just go straight to that mess of an inning?
Nah, just give me that. I don't give a shit about the first 9 or
Okay.
10.
Hold on one second, so I can just get it up.
Oh, what
All
a
right.
fucking shit show! I love it.
Bottom of the 4th, top of the 6th, bottom of the 8th inning. All right, Armando Benitez replaces Roger McDowell pitching. Jeffrey Hammonds moves from pinch hitter to left field.
So this is a fresh pitcher too.
Yes, actually, all 3 pitchers used in this inning will be fresh pitchers. And again, keep in mind, these 3 pitchers, to get just 3 outs, used 97 pitches. That is like 32 pitches per out.
There have been complete games this year with fewer pitches than that.
As you and I have talked about, although I think not on the show, most perfect games have fewer pitches than that.
Way to go, Orioles.
It's just the most Baltimore thing in the world. Yeah,
Do you think Baltimore has the record for the most outliers in the MLB record books?
that's tough. I
don't
honestly
know how
don't
else it could be.
They're just such an anomaly of a team. Because the thing is, as I said earlier, they were good this year. They made the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, that year, not this year.
Sorry. 1996. Yeah.
Not good this year.
No, far from it. Far from it. So let's get into what happened in this inning. And I would like to thank the Yes Network for providing us with this topic today because I just could
thank
not
you.
believe it when they said this. Because they said 51, and I was like, 51's like a lot. That's a lot for a half an inning.
That is quite a lot.
I mean, if you extrapolate that out over 8 innings, which is the least you'd have to pitch if you were the home team, I mean, that's 400 pitches.
What would you say the average is? Like 18 pitches per inning?
I'd say we're looking somewhere around 18.
Yeah.
I'd say that's fair. 15 is usually the ideal. If you hit more than 20, it's rough. So,
But it's not crazy.
I'd say 18 is a very fair average number. So the fact that they hit 51 is like, I mean, wow, that's a lot of pitches. And the fact that they said 97 was the record, I was shocked. So let's get into what happened here.
I'm so excited.
I am too. So as I said, Armando Benitez replaces Roger McDowell pitching. Jeffrey Hammonds moves from pinch hitter to left field, and Mike Devereaux moves from left field to right field. So it's 10-7. It's the bottom of the 8th. Armando Benitez is pitching to Darryl Hamilton, gets him into a 3-2 count, and then he singles to third base. Pop fly to deep third base. It had I guess that's catch percent all the way up there. I wish they dragged this shit all the way down. That's when probably added. My bad. So I'm just going to ignore that percentage then. Yeah, so we got a man on first. All right, nothing crazy. Got him into a 3-2 count, so those always suck, but is what it is.
Those happen.
He then gets into a 2-0 count on Darrell Valley when Hamilton steals second base. So now we got a runner on second, still no outs, a 2-0 count. He then works back to being in a 3-2 count on David Valley, or David Val, however you want to pronounce it, and walks him. So now we got runners on first and second, nobody out. Then Will Clark comes up, and on a 2-2 count, he throws a wild pitch. Runners advance, second and third, nobody out, and this inning is slowly but surely getting away from the Baltimore Orioles. Oh, but it gets so much worse.
Yep.
on a 3-2 count to Will Clark, so 2 pitches later, he walks him. So all
Bases loaded.
All Armando Benitez has done is he let up a single, 2 walks, a wild pitch, and a stolen base in just a bunch of pitches. I mean, it's really quite astonishing.
But it's still not bad. No runs have been scored. Pitchers have been in this situation. They've been able to close it out, limit the damage.
A strikeout and double play.
Yeah,
Strikeout and double play gets you out of the inning.
Totally manageable situation.
So
for now.
Jesse Orozco replaces Armando Benitez pitching. Okay, he then faces
Quick pull.
Huh?
It's a quick pull.
Bases loaded.
Yeah.
In a game that's still within reach. So Jesse Orozco comes up, and what does he do? He, on a 1-2 count, ready for a put away, he doubles to center field on a line drive. Hamilton scores, Val scores, and Will Clark goes to third.
Nice.
So we have 2 runs in on the inning.
And 2 men in scoring
Literally the
position.
first batter that Jesse Orozco faces, he just lets him up on the 4th pitch. Then Mickey Tettleton comes up.
What a name.
He gets worked into a 3-1 count, so clearly Jesse Orozco's rattled. And then he hits a fly ball to left field for a sac fly. Will Clark scores.
But they have an out.
They have the first. After 3 runs scored, they have the first out of the inning. Man on second, and Dean Palmer comes up, and on the first pitch of the at bat, he hits a home run.
Nice. Nice.
Yep,
Nice
home
2-run shot.
Fly
All
ball
right.
to deep left. Juan Gonzalez scores, and Dean Palmer scores.
So we're up to 5 runs.
We're up to 5 runs. Then Rusty Greer comes up on a 2-1 pitch, hits a single. Mark McLemore McLemore. He comes up on a 2-1 pitch. He hits a single.
Nice.
Yep, Greer to second. So once again, we're at first and second. Only one man's out. We're so far in this. Then
Infield fly double play or triple play?
that would be tough. No, because it would be an infield fly rule with runners on first and second.
Okay.
Yeah. Not if there's a runner on first, though, which I just learned the other day. Only if there's a runner on first and second, or I guess and third. Anyway, Kevin Elster comes up on a 1-2 pitch, again, ready for the put away. He singles, again, left field. Greer scores. McLemore goes to second. It is now 5 runs in the inning. It's now 15-7.
Not pretty.
This game is now effectively over, and all Baltimore needs to do is just get out of the inning so it can end. The game's out of reach. They're just trying to move on with their day now. But it does not end there. In fact, it gets worse. That's the subtitle, the subtext for the Baltimore Orioles' existence.
Oh, absolutely.
So Jesse Orozco is just struggling. He's having a bad time. Darrell Hamilton comes up. He walks.
So they've officially batted around.
Yes, Darrell Hamilton was the first batter of the inning. He comes up again. He gets to a 3-2 count and just walks. Yep. So McLemore goes to third. Elster goes to second. It's bases loaded all over again. But this time they leave him in there because what have they got to lose? Yeah. David Val comes up. If you recall David Val's last plate appearance, he walked. This time on a 3-2 count, another full count, another instance. It is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th time they've had 2 strikes on a batter and have not struck out anybody.
That's wild.
I know.
Statistically improbable.
It's shocking. Absolutely shocking that this has happened. David Val hits a single line drive deep to the shortstop through the shortstop third base hole. McLemore scores. Elster goes to second. Elster goes to third. Hamilton goes to second. It is still bases loaded, and another run is scored. Then Will Clark comes up, who walked the last time up, and in yet another 3-2 count for our
Fucking
9th
Christ.
time that 2 strikes have been on a batter this inning with 0 strikeouts, he walks again, scoring another run, leaving the bases still loaded, and there is still only 1 out.
Fucking Christ.
This game is amazing.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So that's when the manager of the Orioles is like, oh dear God, this has gone on for long enough. and he replaces Jesse Orosco with Manny Alexander. And in the meantime, Damon Buford, pinch runs for Will Clark. So, Manny Alexander comes up. He gets into a 3-1 count on Juan Gonzalez, who had a double his last time up, and walks him to bring in another run and to leave the bases still loaded. It is now 18-7.
That's fucking wild.
This game is so far out of reach, and at the end of this, the Rangers will still score 8 more runs. So buckle up. They put in another pinch runner, which just feels insulting at this point. They put Craig Worthington in for Juan Gonzalez. So then Mickey Tettleton comes up, who in his last time up hit a sac fly for the only out of the game. He gets into a 3-2 count, and guess what he does?
What?
He walks.
Oh, of course.
He walks again. So far, Manny Alexander's come in and just walked the first 2 guys to bring in a run each, which, lucky for him, doesn't go against his ERA.
Absolutely.
It completely fucks Jesse Orosco, though.
Yeah, because fuck Jesse Orosco.
Yeah, fuck that guy. So then Dean Palmer comes up. He gets into a 3-2 count. Guess what he does?
I don't know, Josh. What does he do?
He walks again.
Of course.
He walks. So Manny Alexander comes in, bases loaded, 1 out, and he walks 3 straight batters to bring in everyone that was on base and replace them with completely new people.
How many full counts have gone on in this inning without a strikeout?
Oh my God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 full counts. 6 full counts. And almost all, the only one that wasn't for a walk was the first one, which was a single, I think. Every other one of them, 2 singles. One by David Val, one by Darrell Hamilton. Actually, now that I think about it, they might be pinch running these guys because the starters did their job and this game's out of reach. So, why not? Now that I think about it. Okay. Because then Kurt Sitwell pinch runs for Dean Palmer. So now, they replaced everybody on base. All right. Rusty Greer comes up again, who in his last time up hit a single. He gets into a 1-0 count where he hits another sac fly. Well, his first sac fly, but the second one of the inning to bring in another run, but to get the second out of the game.
Huge news for the Orioles.
Yeah, I know, right?
Massive breakthrough.
They've doubled. In the amount of time it took them to get their second out, they let up 9 runs.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Literally 1 out took... So the first out took them 3 runs allowed. The second out took them 9 more runs. It's so many.
And there's more to come.
Yeah. So they still need 1 more out. Mark McLemore comes up. In his last time up, he hit a single. He gets into a 3-2 count. Guess what happens?
Does he walk?
He walks.
Oh, God.
He walks again. Sitwell goes to second. Yeah. Tettleton went to third in the last sac fly play, by the way. So we've got Tettleton on third, Sitwell on second, Mark McLemore on first, Kevin Elster comes up, and on the first pitch of the at-bat, he hits a home run.
So is that a grand slam?
So what's weird, and I kind of want to figure this out, is that the score only goes from 20... Oh, no, there it is. Nope, it's 26-7. Yeah. So it was a grand slam.
Nice.
I was looking at the wrong place. Yep. I hit a grand slam. So just to... And then Darrell Hamilton comes up on a 1-0 count. He grounds out to a 4-3 put out for the final out of the game. Or out of the inning. Do you think
he did that on purpose?
No.
To stop playing baseball?
No, I think he went up to swing because fuck it, but
yeah,
I don't think,
really.
Yeah.
At that point, why wouldn't you swing?
So all in all, there were 16 runs on just 8 hits,
which is wild.
0 errors and 0 men left on base. The final score of this inning and then eventually the game is 7-26. Just to recap everybody's appearances, Armando Benitez harmlessly walks into this inning with no indication anything bad's going to happen to him. Nope. He's a relief pitcher. These things go on. I'm going to look up his stats at the end of this. I'm going to look up all 3 of these guys' stats at the end of this because I'm now desperately curious. He comes up, thinks nothing of it. 10-7. He just needs to shut him down for a bit. And he's actually the only person to not let anybody score while he's up there. Walks the bases loaded.
Good on him.
Lets up a single and then the bases loaded.
I mean, he still has some things going against his ERA, but...
He will, because the inherited runners that Jesse Orosco pitches to. So just to recap, Armando Benitez, a single, a stolen base, a walk, a wild pitch, a walk, gets yanked. That was the best outing of all three relief pitchers used this inning.
The Orioles are
That was literally the best outing of any. So Jesse Orosco comes up. He lets up a double, a sac fly, a home run, and then 3 consecutive singles, a walk, a single, and a walk, allowing, at the end of it all, 7 runs. Only, I guess, 4 of which could charge to him, 3 of which get charged to Armando Benitez before he gets pulled from Manny Alexander, who walks the first 3 batters to allow everyone on base to score, reloading the bases, and then lets up a sac fly, another walk, and a grand slam before getting the final out of the inning. And
this is why I'm glad Major League Baseball doesn't have a mercy rule.
When I heard 97 pitches, I was like, there has to have been a great story behind it, and it's still so much better than I possibly could have asked for.
So, going back, I did end up looking up Blake Snell's stats from that game, which brought us to this topic. So, he went 0.1 innings pitched, 2 hits, 4 walks, 6 runs, 6 earned runs, 1 home run. And, yeah, that's good for only a 4.4 ERA. Which I'm depressed with.
Raised his ERA to 4.4.
Sorry. I also looked
that
up some other
actually ERA
stats.
is 162.
Yes, thank you. I looked up some other stats. This was not the record for the most runs scored by a single team in a single inning. The modern-day record is 17, which was by the Boston Red Sox against the Detroit Tigers, June 18th, 1953.
Wow.
And this still isn't the record for the most runs scored in a single game in the modern era, which was also done by the Texas Rangers against the Baltimore Orioles.
Yep, in the 0-33, right?
In 2007, 30 runs.
Yeah, 30. Yeah.
Outrageous.
So I actually thought that this was going to be that game, and then I saw that it wasn't, and I was like, they did this to the Orioles twice?
It's fantastic.
So let me go over these guys' stats real quick. So Armando Benitez actually had himself a nice career. He was a 2-time All-Star. He was Roll Aid's Relief Pitcher of the Year.
Oh, what a fucking sponsor that is.
Yeah, really. But he had 17.3 career wins above replacement, 3.13 lifetime ERA, 946 strikeouts in 779 innings pitched. He had 289 saves, and lifetime whip is a little bit iffy at 1.217, but that's not a bad career.
Not at all. That's, 2 All-Star appearances is phenomenal. Yeah,
15 years. So 1996, when this happened, on this dreadful day, was his 3rd year in the majors. That year, he posted a 3.77 ERA. He actually had himself a nice year.
Bad inning.
12.6 strikeouts per 9. An ERA plus of 134. This is by all accounts an absolute anomaly for him. He actually only allowed 6 earned runs the entire year. He only pitched 14.1 innings, so that's kind of odd. But literally half of all the earned runs he allowed this year, which clearly was shortened by injury, was this game.
Incredible stuff.
Incredible. So then they brought in Jesse Orosco, who also is actually better than the other guy was. Jesse Orosco, 23.2 career wins above replacement, a 3.16 lifetime ERA, 144 saves, 4 games started, 1,295.1 innings, 1,179 strikeouts. That's a good. He was also a 2-time All-Star and a 2-time World Series champion.
Way to go!
Yeah, he was a good pitcher. When this happened to him,
for a long time,
24 years. He actually has the record for most games played.
No fucking way.
Like the all-time MLB record for most games played by a pitcher, I'm assuming. 1,252.
Good on him.
Yeah. Wow, we've just stumbled upon greatness.
Not
in this
some
inning.
kind of greatness.
So in 1996, when this happened to him, it was his age 39 season. Wow. he had in that year a 3.4 ERA. His ERA plus for that total season was 147, which is super good. FIP was kind of high at 4.07. He pitched 55 innings. He didn't have any saves, but he had 10 games finished. Yeah, by all accounts, this also looks like a decent little season for him. 8.4 strikeouts per 9 isn't anything earth-shattering, but it's not bad. And he allowed in this season 21 earned runs for the entirety of the season, and he gave up 4, which means that over 1/8 of all of his earned runs from his season happened in this one singular game.
55 innings. How many total was it?
21.
21 in 55 innings, and then 4 in.
Actually, sorry, because I forgot about it. The inherited runners. He actually let up 8 earned runs this game,
Yikes.
which means he 1/3 of all the earned runs he allowed for the entire season was one game against the Rangers.
Not even just one game.
One inning.
A partial inning.
You're right. Did he get an out?
I don't know.
Oh, he got one on the sac fly.
I think he got one of them.
He got one
yeah.
out. 0.1 inning. I could have looked right here. It fucking says it. But yeah, 0.1 inning. Let up 8 runs. And that is 1/3 of all the runs he allowed in the season.
Ugh.
That's insane.
This was such a wild game for them.
I know. And this has become a wild little episode for us because I'm just so amazed at how much we had to talk about for this. But there's still one more pitcher. There's still Manny Alexander.
All right, Manny.
He's by far the worst person on this list. Although he got the most outs in this inning.
That's true.
His lifetime career wins above replacement, -2.4. His
great.
lifetime, he was a hitter.
No.
Because look, OPS plus, slugging, on base, home runs. He was a hitter.
He hit 15 home runs, almost
Lifetime.
had 300 hits. Damn, over 100 RBI.
He played for 11 years. Wow. Oh, my God. Can you imagine that? No wonder he did so poorly.
Yeah, no shit.
And yet he still got the most outs.
Yeah. I guess that's why they put him in. Just throw Chris Davis in there to throw up some change-ups, some curveballs.
Oh, Chris Davis would have done well.
He would have been fine.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Wow. Yeah. He was 25 when that happened. I want to see if he has any other pitching appearances. No, that is literally so he finishes his career with a lifetime ERA of 67.5.
I guarantee you he walked back in that clubhouse and threatened to murder the manager if he ever put him into pitch again.
Oh, no, I bet he walked back in that dugout and just started administering high fives like, I got them outs, boys. I got them outs. Yeah, wow, that was his only pitching appearance, a 67.5 ERA, but only a 40.67 whip, which means he was trending in the right way. I'm sure that number's going to come down to meet the FIP eventually. His lifetime ERA plus is 11. And his home runs per 9 is 13.5. Oh, that's amazing.
For non-baseball fans listening, those are astronomically awful numbers.
Oh, it's just hilarious. Oh, that's just absolutely hilarious. My heart. Okay.
My soul.
And do you have anything left for that little piece?
No, I do not.
Because it actually does like me into the last thing I want to talk about when I'm done laughing. Just how astronomically bad the Orioles are. Oh, can you imagine scoring 7 runs in a game and still losing by 19? Like, you as a batter.
Because the Orioles have done it before. Or they did it again.
Yeah, I know. Like, there must have been some of the same people on that team. I just can't imagine it. Oh, my God.
What are you going to do now, Buck?
Oh, what's funny is I think Buck was the manager of the Yankees at that time, so he's probably laughing his ass off. Oh.
Ooh, I have something we could talk about after this. The update for the All-Star Game votes just got posted.
Let's definitely talk about that right after my last thing I came into this topic with is that a topic for discussion I've been hearing a lot about is Shohei Ohtani.
Love him.
Everyone
Big
does.
Fly Ohtani-san.
Which I still think is a really cringy.
I love it.
I hate it so much.
I love it so much.
Big fly, because I actually think it does sound good with Ohtani, but I think it sounds awful for literally everyone else.
Oh, and he tries to do it with other people too.
That's his home run call for everybody.
I just don't like it.
Big fly
Ohtani.
Trout, like it's
Big fly Ohtani-san sounds great.
Yeah, it actually no. I gotta admit that flies. Like I'm totally with it, but big fly for everybody else sounds just so bad. Anyway, a topic of discussion I've been hearing a lot as it pertains to Ohtani is, should he stop pitching and just be a hitter? Have you heard this?
Not seriously.
No, just among people saying like,
Yeah, I've heard people say like, oh, he'll stop. He won't be nearly as good at both if he stops working on solely one of them.
Yeah, so it's come up a lot recently because like he's recovering from Tommy John surgery, so he's not pitching and probably won't for the year, especially because the Angels aren't contending. So like, what's the point?
There's no chance he comes back to pitch in a game this year.
No, there's no point pushing him for it.
No.
But from what I gathered, people were saying this based on his hitting this season, which I'm sure has been good because he's a good hitter.
I could pull up the numbers.
I have it up
okay.
right now. But so let's get into the numbers first, real quick. I don't want to spend too much time on this, and I just want to hear your so let me. All right, no, I said let's start with these numbers. We'll start with these numbers. So, in 38 games, he has 167 plate appearances. He has scored 20 runs, 41 hits, 4 doubles, 1 triple, 9 home runs, 30 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, 1 caught stealing, 15 walks, 42 strikeouts, and all that amasses to a .275 batting average, a .341 on base percentage, a .497 slugging, and a .838 OPS, which is good for a .122 OPS plus. Now, do those numbers scream to you, he's so good at hitting he should stop pitching? Now, those are very good numbers.
They are.
Those are
especially
very good
in
numbers.
38 games.
Yeah, those are all great.
When he first came back from injury, so I've been watching him carefully. He's on my fantasy team, one of my top draft picks in Dynasty. I love this man. He started out very cold.
Which is fair.
So, I mean, I think he started out in his first 5 or 6 games back. He was batting, barely 200. So he's been very good since then. He definitely has the power. 9 home runs in 38 games is tremendous. It's not something that will maintain, obviously, but he's genuinely is, in my mind, one of the better hitters in baseball when he's healthy. But he also showed last year that he is one of the best pitchers in baseball when he's healthy. So I don't think no matter how good he becomes as a hitter, his pitching is still so good, there's no reason to ever stop pitching just to focus on hitting. Or vice versa.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because all the comps you could possibly make to this are just so old.
Right.
Because the only person I can think of that had this problem as well was Babe Ruth.
Exactly.
And
I don't want to compare him to Babe Ruth because that is such an unfair
greatest
comparison.
ball player of all time.
Right.
Yeah,
that'll
it's just not
take
fair.
a Nerf dart to the face for certain clubhouses. Comparing players to Hall of Famers.
Right, which is what we're saying we're not going to do.
Right. But we are. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. So I from what I've been hearing is his hitting is so good, you don't want him out of the lineup for the usually 3 days that he's out because he usually has an off. Last year when he was pitching, it was an off day before he pitched, the day he pitched, and then an off day after the day he pitched, and then he batted the other 4 days. And I'm sorry, but I mean, for leaving aside how good he is at pitching, to tell or to say that a 122 OPS plus, a 275 batting average, we're gonna force a dude to alter the entire way he plays baseball and the reason he plays baseball over that just doesn't seem like enough.
No.
And it's tough because these are very good numbers, and I'm not trying to disparage Ohtani at all. But I'm saying, imagine you went up to somebody and said, you got to stop doing this because you're so good at this other thing. you'd have to be really good at it for him to be like, yeah, of course.
Like if he
imagine
was
Joey Gallo, real quick. Just imagine Joey Gallo. He ends up being weirdly amazing at bunting. Right. Like he lays it down one day, and wow, he's amazing. How good at it would he have to be for you to tell him, all right, Joey, stop hitting home runs? Because the thing is, he's also very good at hitting home runs.
One of the best.
So unless he can bunt perfectly for a double every time he does it, what's the point?
Right.
And unless Shohei Ohtani has an OPS nearing 200,
2,000.
Sorry, you're right. OPS plus, I should say.
Right.
Of nearing 200, I don't see why you would. Because for one, it's how he enjoys playing the game, the pitching side of things.
Right.
And for another thing, these numbers, like, you could make a trade for someone that has a tough trade. You have to give up good pieces.
Right.
But you could go find somebody that has these comparable numbers. If you really wanted the everyday player, the Angels could just go do that. Like they already did with Tommy La Stella, which was a free agent signing. But still, I mean, I don't get the discussion.
And hey, is that trade working out for them?
Seems like it.
Yeah. We'll go into it, but he's currently the highest vote getter among second basemen.
As well he should be.
Yeah, he's playing his fucking heart out.
So let me ask you, well, before I do you have anything you were going to say?
Yeah, so I would say the only time where I would ever even consider this option is if his hitting causes him or his pitching causes him to suffer significantly at the plate.
Right.
And it hasn't last year. We haven't seen it this year, and we won't. So there's no way that this is an argument that's going to be solved anytime soon. But unless one aspect of his game suffers significantly, emphasis on significantly, because of the other, he shouldn't even consider this.
Now, my follow-up question is, how good at hitting would he have to be for you to say, all right, we need him batting every day?
He has to be playing like Mike Trout.
I was going to say, he's got to be Mike Trout 2.0.
Yeah, exactly.
And even then, with how depraved this pitching staff is,
right.
I still might say it's not worth it.
Exactly. Because there's no one else like him in baseball. There hasn't been in our lifetime. There's no reason to waste his talents just to get a few extra at-bats every week from him.
Yeah. All right. That was all I wanted to talk about.
I'm down. You want to talk about a little All-Star then?
Yeah, lay it on me.
So, how do you want me to start? Where would you like me to start? What position?
Just top down. Whatever the order is already in.
It's not in an order. It's a baseball diamond.
Oh, okay. Let's do the outfield, actually, because I'm most curious about that.
Seriously, like, this is not even worth asking you to guess, but give me the 3 top vote getters overall for the outfield.
So, like, all of baseball, not
all of baseball.
Okay. Christian Yelich.
Yep.
Mike Trout.
Yep.
And now this is actually the third one I'm going to be curious about because I'm not sure if it's going to be like Cody Bellinger or if it's going to be like Mookie Betts.
It's Cody Bellinger.
Okay. All
so
right.
Cody Bellinger currently has the most votes overall in all of baseball.
Dodgers fans.
With 2.18 million votes.
That's a lot.
Mike Trout has 1.9 and Christian Yelich has 2.06 million votes.
I think that all makes sense.
Yeah. In the infield, first base,
Luke Voigt.
Incorrect. Josh Bell with 1.1
him.
million. Absolutely. Second base.
We talked Tommy
La Stella has 1.02 million votes. Shortstop. Javi Baez with 1.67 million votes. Third base.
I'm gonna say fucking dude from Colorado.
It is the fucking dude from Colorado.
I can't think of his
Arenado.
name. Oh, thank you. God damn it.
1.47 million votes. Catcher.
So we talk about this.
Right.
It should be Gary Sanchez, but it is Wilson Contreras.
I agree it should be. Contreras has 1.55 million votes. And designated hitter.
So I'm going to assume it's J.D. Martinez?
Which it is.
I think a better choice would have been, who am I trying to think of right now?
Vogelbach, Edwin.
Either Edwin or Vogelbach, I think would both. And I should have said Edwin when we talked about this last time. I just didn't think of him because he was listed under the first base category.
Because
he does
played on the same
first
team
base.
as Vogelbach.
But I mean, the dude leads the league in home runs and is
Yeah.
a very good hitter. But yeah, all right, I can accept JD though.
I wonder if they're going to change him from first base to designated hitter now that he will not be playing first base anymore.
I thought about this because then it also had to change his team from Mariners to Yankees, which would make sense because, like,
Right.
let's say he got chosen as like the Mariners representative, but he wouldn't be wearing their
He can't because he's not playing
hat.
for the Mariners.
Yeah, so it would be interesting to see if like if they move Giancarlo Stanton from being a DH vote to an outfield vote because that's where he'll be playing because Encarnacion will be moving from first base to DH. But
Was Giancarlo on the ballot as a DH?
yes,
Okay. I didn't notice because he had like one game, so I never even considered voting for him.
yeah, he had literally 2 games played before he's now back from the IL. But like now he's gonna be playing left field because he came back and was playing right. But now Judge is back and he'll be playing right, and Hicks playing center. And
So in your initial ballots, did you still vote for Giancarlo
Of course
at
I
DH? Does that change now that Edwin is on your team? Are you voting for Encarnacion now?
no, because it would conflict with all my Luke Voigt votes.
That's true. Fair enough. Because he
Yeah.
is not listed as DH. Okay. That answers my question.
Yeah.
Are there any major surprises other than Gary on here?
Not in particular. I mean, all those seem to really make sense. I think as maligned as the fan vote is, by and large, they do get it right.
Mm-hmm.
I think that fans do take star power more so into consideration than
Significantly.
your analytics shows will.
Which is why I'm surprised Josh Bell is leading first baseman in votes.
I wouldn't be surprised though if it's a thing where it's like I you know how I said I kind of was expecting like Fernando Tatis to be a little bit more voted for because San Diego just hasn't had anybody homegrown to root for in a while, and I don't think Josh Bell homegrown? Did he start with
Yes.
the Pirates?
Yes.
Then like I could really see that being just like every Pirates fan actually gets to vote for their guy and feel good about it. And when was the last time they really got to do that? Like
McCutcheon.
Corey Dickerson maybe like last season.
But he wasn't homegrown.
Oh, that's right. He wasn't. He was traded, wasn't he?
Yeah, we got him from the Rays. The only good trade
that's
we've
right.
had with the Rays.
Yeah. So yeah, I could see something along those lines. I think by and large the fans do get it mostly right.
Yeah. Man, I miss McCutcheon. I was talking to a Phillies fan the other day and yelling at him for letting McCutcheon get hurt. And he's like, no, I understand completely.
I miss Kutch too. His Instagram or his Twitter account's super great if everyone wants to follow it. He's so happy and upbeat all the time.
Oh, of course. You want to know something funny? Do you know where
Always.
Josh Bell started his career?
Like team or city?
Team.
Oh,
Minor leagues.
Trenton.
No, the State College Spikes.
Like
Out in Penn State.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's neat.
Maybe I'll get a State College Spikes Josh Bell jersey.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
actually going to look up if those exist.
You could probably make one.
Oh, I'm sure I could make one, but I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah, it must be tough not having like $25.
For a jersey?
Oh, there's a shirt.
I changed it. I said shirt initially. I was like, no, jersey.
All right, anyway. Do you have anything else you want to say?
Nope.
Well, all right, man. Let's get on out of here.
Sounds good.
If you want to follow the show, you can do so at Juicing the Numbers. Wait, what? If you want to follow the show, you can do so at Juicing Pod on Twitter. If you want to hit us up via email, you can do so at juicingthenumbers@gmail.com. And if you want to find the show notes for this episode and all previous episodes, which will include a link to this box score we talked about, Shohei Ohtani's stats, fucking whatever else, you can do so at juicingthenumbers.wixsite.com/website. And until Thursday, y'all have a good one.
Bye.